Self-harm is when someone hurts themselves on purpose. It may be to relieve stress or because of depression, among other reasons. The most common ways to self-harm are cutting and burning. Self-harm can be dangerous. Unfortunately, most people don't recognize the signs, let alone know how to help. This is a serious issue, and it can be addicting. It takes so much to quit the cycle, and even if a self-harmer succeeds in stopping, the addiction always tries to come back. Self-harm is not talked about very often, so not many even know such a terrifying thing exists. Everyone who participated in this video is here for a purpose. They are here to bring awareness to those who self-harm, the ones that are affected by it, the addiction itself, and to help self-harmers get started on finding help.
I guess the reason why I started to cut myself was because kind of a broken home life. I was just trying to draw blood because it was kind of a release. At least that's the way I looked at it. Was that, you know, by seeing the blood, not necessarily the pain, but just seeing the blood kind of released a lot of built up tension. And starting in that area at the time, it wasn't really a life-threatening thing that I was doing, but it really did lead me down a dark path.
I was 12, and it was right after my grandmother died. And my dad, he basically had a big blow up. He was drunk, he'd scream a lot. He actually physically abused me, so it kind of just led to me kind of having a breakdown, and the only way I could deal with it, since I couldn't really talk to anybody, couldn't talk to my mom, couldn't talk to my friends, I ended up starting self-harming. For a long time it was just razor blades, but then it got to be, I'd heat up a needle and do some branding on my arm. It feels good for some reason. It's like, whenever you harm yourself, it's like there's a release, but yet you know in the back of your head it's wrong, but you can't help but feel good, which makes it hard.
I was 8 when I first found out about self-harming. I learned about it because of my brother. I was scared. It worried me. I didn't really try to help because I was scared and I was 8 and I didn't know what to do. I saw him self-harm for more than 4 years. I never saw him physically self-harming. I sometimes saw fresh scars, but mostly healed over. I never heard about anybody else self-harming before. I've heard a lot about it after, though.
My cuts became deeper and deeper until eventually I needed medical treatment on a regular basis. I was losing my mind after being started on a medication by my psychiatrist. I didn't sleep for a whole week as it gave me insomnia, and I started hallucinating from the sleep deprivation. I ended up cutting bad and needing 14 stitches. I'm now 17 at this point. I was in the hospital for 7 months, and my cutting just got worse after being just discharged. I ended up needing medical attention every time I cut and often had 2 or 3 trips to the hospital within the same day. My arms are severely scarred and I may need skin grafts. I've had 44 stitches, hundreds of steri strips, and loads of medical glue in total.
I started doing it while I was in the Navy. When I was so far into it, I had become addicted to it. And I just did it because I wanted to do it and I hadn't done it in 3 days. So it didn't matter that I wasn't sad. It was just I wanted to do it because I hadn't done it in 3 days. And I felt like a failure because I hadn't done it. And I remember thinking when I cut myself and I couldn't believe, I thought to myself, you're a failure. You can't even cut yourself. You can't even cut yourself. What can you do? You know, of course every cutter hides it. You know, they try to hide it and no one's going to see it. Only if I let them see it. I will tell you this. I ran out of room on my arms, so I started doing it on my legs. And I went back to the store. I bought a package of razor blades. I remember thinking, this cashier is going to be suspicious of me. She's going to think I'm going to go cut myself. She probably didn't think anything of it. Who would? And finally one day, it just occurred to me, I've been doing this for 3 years. And it's I'm not going anywhere. I got all these scars now, and that's all I have to show for 3 years of cutting myself. Just scars. It didn't get me anywhere. I'm not getting any better. I'm still depressed. I'm still, sad. I still hate myself. Started that way, and I'm still here. It didn't do anything except give me a whole bunch of scars. I just want to help one person. There's nothing I can tell you to make you want to stop, give you some sort of hint to stop. The only thing I can say is you have to try and get help somewhere.
I was taken to the hospital after a severe panic attack, and it was in the hospital when my family found out about the harm. I was referred to the psych services to be assessed, and despite cutting between 50 to 150 times a night, I was considered not severe enough. I felt really let down, but my youth worker stayed by my side.
Since being in the hospital, I tried to cut myself, and it didn't work. I have become kind of a weenie when it comes to pain, I guess, and it didn't work. I kind of wish it had. Maybe I'd feel better. And it makes me sad that I can see the scars on my hand. And it gives me a little thrill. And it makes me feel like I accomplished something. But I'm married and I live with somebody who would see it. And I left him work. I don't. Because I don't want to have to explain it. I don't want to go back to the hospital.
One day I realized I have to quit. If I don't, this is going to kill me. So on that day I promised myself, never again.
Self-harm is more common than you might think. In one high school, out of 575 people surveyed, 57, or 10%, either self-harm currently or have in the past. 24% know someone who self-harms, and while most of them tried to help, they didn't know how. Unfortunately, more than 7% of those who took the survey did not give serious answers. If you or someone you know needs help, please visit the website on your screen for more information.